I'm going to tell you the player everybody's sleeping on. But trust me, I think this guy would save Real Madrid. Somebody call Fiorentino Perez right now. Tell him my idea.
Hello.
We're back. We are live. GoldenGol. Él es Kadyr, yo soy Diego, and we had an awesome day at the World Cup again.
Dude, it is incredible. Talking about stuff that I think this day that we're going to talk about is finally one of those days where you kind of could have called it and been a little bit right. I feel like until now, anybody who's been doing predictions has shot themselves in the foot. It's like everybody's been wrong. But today was a little bit more like, okay, what was expected happened, you know?
Yeah, I don't know who the people that are in charge of making the calendar set this day to be the Stars Day. Because right now, it's interesting that I would say the biggest goal scorers in the world, aside from Kane, are Mbappe and Haaland.
True.
And so to have them both debut the same day, I thought was kind of odd. I don't know if they did that on purpose. But then you couldn't forget the legend, the Messi also. Now, I know you were thinking I was going to talk about somebody in Austria or somebody in Jordan. Yeah. No.
I'll give you money if you name 5 other players without looking them up.
Yeah.
Here we go. But no, listen, I agree with you. Mbappe is, you know, I wasn't sure he had an okay season with Real, in my opinion, but I don't know. I feel like he's another one of those players that he puts on that France jersey and he turns it on and he's able to turn it on and deliver regardless of what's going on. You know what I mean? Like he's just going to be there for them.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but I felt like let's talk about the beginning of the game. How did you think France played overall?
I thought they did overall well. I don't think they played to their potential. I think they had moments. I think once Olise started to kind of loosen up a little and kind of do what he does at Bayern, they became a lot better. But I also do think that for the level of depth they have in their squad and how well they know each other, they did not play up to their potential.
Well, you also have to remember the Senegal is no scrub. They technically won the African Cup, and then they got it stripped away from them, completely messed up. Las trampas de la FIFA, which we're not going to get into FIFA gate and all that kind of stuff. But they're no scrubs. But I got to be honest with you, I was disappointed in France up to like the last 20 minutes of the game.
Tell me, because of what?
Because they scored. I think Olise, I love Olise. Olise is one of my new favorite players. He did not show up. You could tell, I don't know if he was nervous. I don't know if being in the big stage at the beginning was just something that affected him, but France didn't show up in the first half. And not only that, but Senegal I felt like they had the best chance. Senegal did to win the game in the first half. They had a goal hit the post. And then at the very end, right before the half, there's this guy, Boca right next to the goal, and he kicks it up. I felt like they could have had a better performance and it could have affected the game a lot more. They missed it. When you missed against big champs, they show up. They may not be playing for the first 75 minutes, but in the last 25, they'll show up. They'll get there. And that's exactly what I think happened with France.
They make you pay. And I don't know. I think I'll say things about both. I feel like this happens a lot with African teams. I feel like during the World Cup, they want so badly to just kind of shine. You know what I mean? That they overdo it. Does that make sense? Like, do you know what I'm talking about? When it's almost like they're a little too eager to prove themselves instead of putting the effort into playing the game how they know they can play the game. You know what I mean? It almost feels like every player wants to make that magical play or that magical pass or that incredible goal rather than for themselves, rather than to play for the team. That's what I get from most African teams. And I think that always just kind of like becomes a hurdle for all of them.
That's a good point. Nick Jackson played a fantastic game. He had another one in the second half that was an amazing goal that got taken back. But I felt like he played really well, despite, like you're saying, the eagerness that tends to happen to these African nations. But let's talk about Mbappe. Mbappe, the big daddy, showed up, man. What is it about Mbappe in the World Cup particularly, man? He's a freaking beast.
He's a beast, man. He's a beast. Like, whether you like him or you don't, you have to admit the kid just shows up. You know, one thing that I was like, I was like, come on, like I hope he's not doing that to be arrogant. Like when he scored, the cameras cut to him as he was like post celebration, like maybe a minute after, and he was looking at someone in the stands, and he's just going like yeah, like I know I knew I was gonna do that, and I like a player that's confident, and I like a player that knows what they're bringing to the table. But it's like you haven't won yet, bro. It's game one. Calm down. You know.
Parte del show, Kadyr, tranquilo. It's part of the show, man. Part of them like enjoying themselves, enjoying soccer, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Te
Yeah,
sacaste los lentes. You're still
that's
talking to me, ¿no? Yo también me saco los lentes. Ah, estoy por ahí.
me ves. No, dude. Not only Mbappe, but I'm eager to see. I'm eager to see some sort of internal Mbappe Dembele competition, not in a mean way, like in a healthy way. You know what I mean? Like I want them both to just kind of like shine at some point, because if they do that, to me, with Olise, there's no better attack of this World Cup. If they show up.
You're telling me Dembele played?
No, I'm saying I want to see.
But Dembele played that game?
Dembele played. No, Dembele didn't play.
He played technically, but he didn't play. No, I'm being sarcastic. He didn't play. No, he didn't show up. I didn't even see him. You got me
thinking for a second. I was like, no, wait a second. He did play.
Exactly. But that just goes to show you how crappy he was.
That's what I'm saying. I do think he has a little bit of a, I don't want to say resentment, but there's definitely a little something towards Mbappe. You know what I mean? Like, to me, he is much more at ease when Mbappe is not around. Look at what happened at PSG. Look at what happened. It's just like when you let him be without Mbappe, he's much better, much stronger, much more dangerous than when he has to play with Mbappe.
I mean, what you bring up is such an interesting point. It's hard for me to imagine that he would have anything, even if he did at some point, left. I mean, as soon as Mbappe left, he came to replace Mbappe. And then PSG finally wins the champions. And then they win again. So I feel like he shouldn't have to feel like there's nothing to prove at this point, right? But at this, maybe there, I don't know if there ever was, but like, what does he have to prove? Like, he clearly showed at least the PSG fans that he's better than Mbappe, or at least he did what Mbappe couldn't do.
He's on par. He's at least on par as far as affecting a game. I agree with you. I think there is something psychological in him that when Mbappe's there, he doesn't need to let, but Mbappe just becomes the superstar. And I feel like Dembele feels like he should be the superstar, but if Mbappe's there, then he can't show that. He can't beat that.
Interesting point. But you know what? When it comes down to it, players are just alphas. Mbappe is the alpha, and you're just, I mean, and it shows, like, what has Dembele done in the World Cup? Like, Mbappe he's already won a World Cup. I don't know if, I don't remember if Dembele was actually in, I think he was too young to be in the 2018 one. But like, he's just proven, some players are just alphas.
It didn't matter.
Yeah, some players are just alphas. But I'm really glad to see Olise turn it up in the second half. That through pass was just amazing to open up the game to Big Daddy Mbappe, and Big Daddy Mbappe with that second goal. Oof. What a beauty, man.
He doesn't miss. But no, I do think that out of the three of them in the attack, Olise is the most skilled of the three. You know what I mean? He's the one, to me, that knows how to treat the ball well. He's the one that has that gentleness, that sort of skill. I think Mbappe and Dembele both have speed like crazy. They have other attributes, but as far as like playing pretty, Olise is the one.
I know what you're going to tell me. I know your answer just because of this, but do you think Olise should go to Real Madrid?
No.
Forget that you hate Real Madrid. Let's forget that for a second.
I don't, man. I don't. Precisely because of what I just said. To me, Real Madrid is a team that is very efficient when they've had these teams that won champion after champion after champions of La Liga and all that. They're very efficient. They know how to score goals. But they don't play pretty. You know what I mean? They don't play pretty. Sees things other players don't see. He should be part of a team that plays the sport with gusto.
I know what you mean. Doesn't. At the same time, I got to be honest with you. Olise hasn't done it for a lot. This was the best season by far he's had. So I know it's a little off topic, but still Real Madrid. I think I got the equation for Real Madrid to actually win even the Champions this year.
Go
Okay,
back to
so
buying Reds. Oh, what?
coming from a Barca guy who's had so many questionable stuff. No mames, weón. En serio. But
Dímelo.
let me tell you how I would fix Real Madrid. I feel like the weakest link is the right winger, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Because they have Mbappe at 9.
Carvajal, Arnold are on the right?
Talking about right winger, like
Oh,
attacking the right winger.
okay, yeah,
Okay.
okay.
So in the left they have of course Vinny Jr. and they have Mbappe. Mbappe's natural position, I feel like it's more of a left winger instead of the actual 9. But he works at the 9. But the weakest
Mm-hmm.
link is on the right. Whoever they try to put on the right has just not worked. That's the rumor that they want to bring in Olise because Olise plays that right winger role.
Right.
And they're willing to pay a record fee for that. Okay. The other rumor was that they were trying to go for Haaland, really, like to break the market. City's not going to let Haaland go, number one. And number two is what do you do? You can't switch Vinny to the right side. That's not his side. And then, so it would be like you put Vinny on the right wing, then you put Mbappe back to with the left, and then you put Haaland in the night. No. I'm going to tell you.
Crazy.
I know. I'm going to tell you the player everybody's sleeping on. And I don't think they're going to get him. But trust me, I think this guy would save Real Madrid and take Real Madrid for just a year or two to the next level. Can you guess who that player is?
I have no idea because I'm trying to picture what kind of attack and play a trio you're trying to put together, and I can't.
I can tell you one thing: it wouldn't cost that much. But this guy has been questionably one of the best players in the world at a certain point. That's another hint.
Is he on the older side of things? Right. Wait. How old is he? Is he in his 20s or 30s?
He's in his early 30s, 32, 33.
And the only reason he's a forward.
Not only is he a forward, he plays exactly in that position. And the only reason he's not playing in his team, he's got let go by his team. He's a legend in his team. And because he had problems with the coach.
Wait, you're not talking about Kane?
No, because Kane plays in the night. He plays right in the middle. Talking about the right.
You're talking about the right winger. Yeah, it's
right winger.
Because that's all. Because
Real Madrid is good. They're good. All they need is to just put a guy on the right winger.
Dude, talk to me because I'm either drawing a blank or I have no idea who you're talking.
Former like best player in the world, plays exactly that position. People are forgetting about him because he had some problems with his coach at Liverpool. I'm talking about Mohamed Salah.
Salah
is a freaking free agent right now. He's not going to cost you. All you got to do is just pay him a high salary for 2 years on exactly that right position. Why isn't anybody talking about him possibly going to Real Madrid? It just blows my mind.
I think it's age. I think
he's only 32, 33. Yeah, but you just get him for a couple years. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I hope they don't hear this because that's not a bad idea.
Right? Think about it. He's probably going to go to Saudi Arabia. That's fine. Most likely, right?
He's going to make some money and,
Right. But I think Real Madrid, well, let's just hope for your sake as a Barcelona fan. That's like somebody call Fiorentino Perez right now, tell him my idea.
No, don't.
Let him know right now what's up.
That's okay.
That's how I fix Real Madrid.
I think who they've got so far? They've got Cucurella, who's also on the right side, right? Yeah. No,
Cucurella's on the left side.
He's on the left side?
Yeah.
Who do they get for the right? Because I know they wanted to get rid of Carvajal.
Well, they got rid of Carvajal. Is no longer there, and Carreras has not worked. And Arnold, I mean,
and Trent hasn't done shit for them.
Yeah, but you don't know. You don't know what Mourinho's gonna do.
That's true. That's the one thing that's kind of like the secret sauce for me is that they are bringing him. Mourinho will pull something out of his sleeve and come up with some magic potion in the locker room to kind of make them shine again. I do think it's going to take more than a season. I don't think it's going to just magically happen and they're going to go back to winning 3 champions back to back to back. I think it's going to take a little bit of time.
No, I think you could. Yeah, I think so. But I'm telling you, that's how you fast track it. It doesn't cost you much. You don't have to. I mean, Olise, you might have to pay 200 something million just to get Olise, and then you pay Salah $0 for a year or two. What? Come on, Salah may give you at this point in his may give you just as much. I mean, I know it's controversial right now, but I'm telling you, Salah, they're sleeping on Salah. The world is sleeping on Salah right now.
They might be. I don't think it's
He just had
controversial.
beef
I
with his
think it's a good
coach.
idea, and I'm glad no one's said it out loud until now.
Well, the thing is, your team, which is Barcelona, has Yamal, so they have that right wing covered. But anybody who's thinking of like who to put in that right wing, I'm telling you, Salah, that's the one. All right,
Yeah,
so
no,
let's go back
it's not a bad
to
idea. Let's go
my
back to the
favorite
World
player.
Cup.
We talked
Talk
about
to
your
me.
favorite team. Can anybody guess who my favorite player is? He's in the back.
Say it.
He's in the
Say it out
back.
loud. Don't be shy.
Haaland, my favorite player.
Yeah,
He
because
made his
you're a Man
debut.
City. You're a Man City guy. You guys can see like right behind it. You know what I liked about him? I liked that he debuted,
Sus
scored twice.
ojos. I mentioned not su
El pelo,
cabello.
el pelo, el pelo. I feel like his hair and
Well, you're a hair
mine,
guy,
kind of,
dude. You're a hair guy, so
I,
you would appreciate. You should appreciate Haaland.
I do appreciate his
Haaland.
hair. I do appreciate because a lot of women comment on his everything, and they're like, "You need to cut your hair," and he takes the time out of his day to respond, but he always says no, and that's it. Doesn't say anything else. He's just like, "No." It's great. Anyway, he scores twice. His debut. He's happy. He's going back to the hotel, and his post is Messi's incredible after Messi did the score the hat trick. It's I think it's a guy that is at the World Cup enjoying his time, but also enjoying the World Cup as a fan. You know what I
Beautiful.
mean? I love him.
Like, there's nothing unlikable about this guy. Like, I'm trying to think. Like, he's not a party dude. He's just like a cool, chill guy. Like, I don't see people like trying to. I mean, we've discussed this before, but there are some villains in the world of football right now. Like Vinny Jr. He's a little dick.
Very unlikable.
Very hard to like.
Yeah.
And but like you look at Haaland, you're like, this guy he just balls. Like the only thing you can criticize him was like maybe he's not the type of player who also creates, but you don't want a nine to do that. You want a nine to just score
Do
goals.
what he does. You
And
want him to
right
do
now
what he
he's the
does.
best in the world at that. Absolutely. I
I
don't
think
think
so.
there's anybody better than Haaland at night. And I'm so happy that his debut had 2 goals. And it had 1 goal that the second goal, which I'm talking about, which
Mm-hmm.
you know which one I'm talking about, right? When
Wait,
they passed it
what?
back
I
to
don't
the
know what you mean.
goalie and he got it
Oh,
right
and
before they go.
yep,
Right.
yep, yep. Yeah.
And it's so interesting
It
to
is
me.
that same hunger like when we talked about last time the very last Colombia game where it's like you're hungry and you're gonna give it your all regardless of how late in the game it is or what kind of play it is, you're gonna try and go for it. That's what he displayed.
That goal was 3 things. It was hunger, it was underestimating his speed. Absolutely. You like, oh, Haaland's not gonna get there. No, motherfucker,
Yep.
he did. And the third one is just dictates where soccer is today. If we had seen that goal 10 years ago, 20 years ago, like that didn't happen because the teams didn't pressure.
Mm-hmm.
We're used to seeing
Yep.
those types of goals,
Yep.
the one that Haaland scored. We're used to seeing them now. They're not like, oh yeah, because that's what happens when teams are pressuring. The goalies are making mistakes. They're more
Right.
often seen. But isn't that
Right.
crazy that goal would have probably be considered one of the biggest blunders, like the biggest fails in World Cup history, right?
Well,
You
I love it because it's it shows you how the sport has evolved and it shows you where it's at now. And it shows you one thing that to me, like I don't know if this happened to you when you were a kid and you played, but when I played, players were generally about my size. Like Holland is what, 6'3"? He's a
he's
tall
tall,
dude.
man. Yeah.
He's tall, right? So I'm like 5'10" on a good day, 5'9", let's
But
sell
with
days.
the hair, dude,
But with
you're taller
well,
than Haaland with your hair.
Well, if we don't count this, right? So I'm not super tall, but at the time, players were about my size. If there was a bigger player, you did not have to worry about speed because they just were slow. They were just slow. Period, man. I played at every level imaginable, and it was always the case. Fast forward to now, I guarantee you, this Holland can run circles around 20-year-old me. And they are just not only big, but they are staying fast and they are staying agile. And it's like, okay, I can see, it is just a different game. You're able to apply that pressure because it just takes you less time to get everywhere because you're so much bigger than everybody else.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I got to be honest with you, the first half of that game, I was a little pissed because I felt like Haaland was just getting bricks.
Hmm.
Like they weren't passing it to him. They're not, weren't getting involved. And I thought, we saw Norway eliminate Italy, and we were just, I had high hopes that this would be a great tournament for them. I feel like the one of the key moments of that game was where they brought in Bob to take care of that right. When we're talking right wings, he took care of that right wing, and I felt
Hmm.
like as soon as that happened, the team changed and started attacking more, and all the other players got involved. I mean, they ended up winning the game 4-1, and Haaland didn't score all the goals. They didn't depend solely on Haaland, but that presence. So I feel like if Norway learns from this match, they won 4-1. It's beautiful to have a match where you can possibly learn from and still be 4-1. That's why I know we talked about the Colombia game. Like Colombia has a lot to learn from, but at least they won 3-1. Like it's a beautiful match.
Sure. Sure.
So,
Let me
and
ask you a question
Argentina has
about
a lot to
Norway
learn, which we're going to talk about
before
in a
we move
second.
on. I would like to ask you a question about Norway
Sure.
because every analysis and every commentator and every person that has talked about who the dark horses might be puts Norway at the very top. Like regardless of who everybody else is, it's like Norway. Be careful. Watch out. Norway. 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 Do you think they have what it takes to make it to the quarters or semis?
I think it's a great question, Kadir. No, I don't think so. I think they
Wow.
will definitely make it to the next round. I
Hmm.
think on a good day, they could. But from what I saw, especially that first game, unless they, like I said, they fix certain things, no. Talent wise, okay. I was going to bring this up. To me, the most disappointing good player so far in the World Cup has been Odegaard. He
Wow.
play
Okay.
he plays for he's a starter in Arsenal.
Hmm.
He played the final of the champions. That's how much faith Arteta had in him.
Trust in him. Yeah.
Odegaard, he was terrible in his first game. Just gave up bad balls, was just his placement in the field. You need this guy to ball out. I think that you have Haaland who can solve a game for you, and then you have potentially Odegaard and you have Bob on one of the sides. I feel like you have the potential to do something. But as far as like be sure that it's a black horse, no, no. It needs more than
Yes.
that.
See,
It's gonna need some things to fall for it, like
I
like
agree with
some
you.
balls to drop the right
Sorry, give
way.
me a sec. I agree with you. Sorry, my hair disappeared, went off camera
Yeah.
for a
There
second.
he
No,
is. There he is. Yeah.
I was gonna say I agree with you, but then why do you think so many people are putting them so high? Is it just because of Holland and because they have that power up at the top, or is there something else that they are seeing that I'm not seeing? Because I agree with you.
Well, okay. Well, the thing is, when it came to the group stage to qualify for the World Cup, they qualified first, and they beat each opponent by many goals substantially, including Italy. Like they
Right.
humiliated Italy. They kicked the
Well,
crap out of them.
Italy's a
No,
we can
but
do a
still,
whole show on Italy, but
yeah,
yes.
I know. But I'm just saying, still, now we know what Italy is. Italy didn't even make it. Like the news was like, oh, what's it called? Norway made Italy go to the repechaje, go to the knockout stage. Like,
Hmm.
but they
Hmm.
kicked the crap out of them. Like they humiliated them. They beat them. I know that right now. That's not a now that we know what Italy is, it's not a good assessment. However, that's what the world knew at the time. Norway was the ones who humiliated Italy, and the perspective was that Italy was way better than they actually ended up being.
Right,
So that
right,
that is
right.
why I think, yeah,
Okay, well, that's
good,
that's fair. That's fair. I think we're on the same page. I just wanted to hear a little bit of reasoning behind the why.
perfect. I know we're running out of time, but we still got one to cover. I know you're dying to cover Austria Jordan, and I guess what we will say about that is just so happy to see Austria just scored 3 goals and Jordan won. It was a fun game. It was an entertaining game. And I guess Austria was the favorite. So this was not a surprising result. I don't have many
Yeah,
notes. There you go.
I don't have a lot of notes either. I will say my very, 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 very first love when I was a very little boy was a girl from
Michael
Jordan.
Jordan?
So it
Michael
was a
Jordan?
girl from Jordan. It wasn't Michael. It wasn't Michael. I remember her name, but I won't say it on camera because you never know.
Was a girl from
But
Jordan.
it was a girl from Jordan. So every time Jordan gets brought up, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember her.
All right. Y knowing you, conociéndote a ti, también, ¿cómo se llamaba la austriaca? What was the Austria girl's name?
Actually, no, I don't. I don't. I have been. I have been. I loved it. Austria, beautiful country, beautiful place. But no, just friends, just friends.
Okay. All right. But
All right, brother. This was great, man. Another good day. Another good day. Another good analysis. Another good day of football. We got to come back and talk about Thursday. Do you think?
not
Let me
yet,
take a
man.
quick,
How
quick,
are you
quick.
skipping your favorite part? You're talking about the things you love. Your tu papito, weón. How can you?
No, but I had just a quick question because I just a one word answer. Who wins Mexico South Korea?
Who wins what?
Mexico South Korea.
0-0.
Really?
I
Okay.
think so. That's just my
Okay.
prediction.
You don't think Mexico being at home will take it?
I didn't like what I saw from Mexico in the first game, bro. I just got to be real. I
Okay.
hope I'm rooting for them. I absolutely love to see Mexico win, but I think it's a 0-0 match. That's
Interesting.
that's what I think.
Okay. All right.
All
All
right,
right.
let's talk about your papito.
Dímelo. I
Tu
mean, what else can
papito.
we say, man? What else can we
Se
say?
hizo un
Come
hat
on.
trick, tu papito. Tu
It's it's
papito.
it's one of those things where like if you at this point still insist on not recognizing the great talent that this guy is, you are just a sad individual who has a lot of soul searching to do, man. Because come on, you don't have to like him, you don't have to love him, but you just gotta recognize that the guy is just pure quality. And he just he came on, he did what he did, and then he was subbed and is still happy and enjoying his time. So I don't have anything to analyze, anything to say. I just go and watch Argentina to enjoy him. I could sit here and talk about the rest of the team and whatever, but it's just one of those things. He doesn't have anything to prove. So I like that he's able to be on the pitch enjoying himself, which is what I saw.
What's impressive to me is that he's playing in what is considered to be a lesser quality league right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Mm-hmm.
would imagine his quality of game at this point in his life would decrease.
Right.
How many people have scored hat tricks in the World Cups? On like how many players in their prime? Like we have seen some of the most amazing players in the history of soccer, football, not win, not score hat tricks, but he
Yeah.
did when
Yeah,
he's
dude.
old, playing in a lesser league.
Old, and a lesser league in quotation marks, man, because I bet you that guy is going to get to 45, 50 years old and still going to have, just a magic touch on his foot.
Yeah, no, amazing, amazing, amazing. You can't help but bring this rivalry of Ronaldo. It's so funny, man. My uncle hates Messi, and he hates Argentina.
I feel bad for your uncle. I
Yes,
feel bad.
yes.
Yeah,
That was
I
the
do.
joke. The joke was like
Yeah.
I asked him like, "Yeah, you know watch Argentina?" He's like, "No, I don't want to watch Argentina." Then afterwards, I'm like, "Good thing he didn't watch it because he would have really hated it. He would have hated the whole Messi thing." The reason he hates him is because of the '78 scandal, and he also hates that fans celebrated a cheating Maradona with and celebrated and called it the hand of God. He's stuck there. He's
You
stuck
don't
there,
have
and
to
then
like the team, but you got to recognize the individual talent.
yeah,
Like you don't.
yeah.
Messi has nothing to do with 78 or 86. He wasn't even born in one, and he was a baby in the other one. Relax.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know. I'm with you 100%. I feel like what a gift we're able to still see him and to enjoy that greatness and a gift to the world who's watching like because the,
Exactamente.
the 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 Messi brand is huge. So like people are watching and then he's able to give them this gift, you know?
Yeah,
Even though
yeah.
he should have even though he should have been kicked out.
Listen,
Hey,
listen. There was
come on, admit
there
it.
was
He should have been
many
kicked out.
plays. There was
Yeah.
many fouls and many plays that looked exactly the same, and nobody got even a yellow card. So relax. I feel like that comment comes from people who have nothing else to pick at. Like you have to find something. You know what I mean? If you had something legit, sure. But you are only saying that, and so is everybody else that's saying it because there is nothing else to say.
Hey, why is controversy always following Messi? Like the last World Cup was like, I personally think they deserved it. They like there was no dispute, but the
Mm-hmm,
haters are
mm-hmm.
gonna say, hey, Argentina had the most penalties ever in a World Cup.
Right, right.
It is funny to me that he's always involved in controversial, like
Bro,
like come on, it was
I
because it
don't
is
think
it is still
it's a
debatable.
controversy, bro. I don't think it's a controversy. Like if you take all of the penalties that they were giving the last World Cup, Argentina still wins every single one of those games. If you take away every single one of the penalties, they still win. I think they tie one, but they win every single one of the other games. And they also missed one. So it's like, come on, what are you talking about?
No, I'm with you. My
I
uncle.
think he's in the middle of controversy because people don't have anything else to pick at. That's why.
So my uncle, but just briefly, I'm like, hey, I'm glad you didn't watch that game, Theo. I'm glad you didn't. And he's all, I heard, I freaking hate Argentina and all this. I'm like, I don't get it. He goes, well, because the last World Cup, they gave him the World Cup. I'm like, hold on a second. I'm like, what are you mad at? And he goes, the final. I'm like, so you mean to tell me that Dibu Martinez saving the last, like when it was like 2-3 minutes left, was it Dembele who kicked it? And
No. It was N'Golo. I forget his last name. N'Golo. It wasn't Dembele. It was the taller of the three.
Okay.
I forget his name right now.
So that had the refs that was on France, dude. Like, there's nothing you could say or discuss. They won it fair and square. It was a beautiful tournament, and they rightly so, the best champions. So it's just funny to me though. Let's just answer me this: if that foul had happened to Messi, would the other player have gotten a red card?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I really don't. I really don't think so. I think they maybe would have gotten a yellow. I definitely think it was a foul. But if you watch the pictures, it looks like he's going, just cleats first, just to try and get him and hurt him. But if you watch the play, not in slow-mo, just the regular play, he's running behind him. His leg goes in between the opponent's legs, and then he taps him. But he doesn't do one of these things with his foot. He's not malicious about the foul. It is definitely a foul, and it could very well be a yellow card, but it's definitely not a red. Especially because you're in the middle of the field.
Okay, ponte la mano en el corazón now, okay? Hand in your heart, okay? De verdad. If you were the ref, siga jugando, pare y juegue, what would you have done?
If I'm the ref, or if I'm the player?
If you're the ref.
If I'm the ref, I call it. I call a foul. It was a foul. It was definitely a foul.
Okay,
it was a foul, and I probably give him a yellow. Give him a yellow.
Okay, but now we're really gonna know how we're gonna get to Kadyr's heart. We're gonna get in depth. Here we go. Okay,
I'm not shy. Talk to me.
Okay, here we go. Ready for this? Same play in the finals of the World Cup, Argentina versus Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Messi does that same play on Diaz. What card?
Listen, so we're talking about same circumstances, right? Like in the middle of the field, dude, it's a yellow. That's not a red card. I'm being completely honest. That's a yellow card. It's not a red card.
Even against Diaz in the final of the World Cup against Colombia?
I don't think so, man. I just don't think it's a red card.
So you see Messi as your heart? Messi first, then Colombia? Is that
no? I absolutely don't see that at all. What I do see is being an objective ref. Like, it's one of those things where in order for it to be a red card, it either has to be a blunt foul that prevents a player from being in a position of danger and scoring, or it has to have malicious intent if it's in the middle of the field. Like if I go to you with an elbow, with a knee, if I go, cleats up to your, hips, it has to have malicious intent in order to be a yellow card.
Final question for you. Final question, and then you can get off the stand, Senor Kadyr. Colombia's in the final against another team, and another player not named Messi does the same foul to Diaz. Still yellow card?
Yes, the same foul. It's not a red card, man. It's
not.
I can't. I can't. It's not a red card. Do you remember when, and his name is skipping me right now, but it was in the Copa America where the Colombian player kneed Neymar in the back and he was out for months? Who was that? Do you remember the name? You know what I'm talking about? He kneed Neymar. He didn't get a red card. And it was one of those things where it's like, you know what? If you watch the play, it doesn't look as bad as it was.
Okay.
He was injured and he spent a bunch of time off Neymar off the field because he really got injured, but the ref didn't see it that way.
I think this is a good moment for us to finish today's show with a question for all you guys. Please leave a comment. Do you believe Kadyr is being sincere? Okay, that's what I want to know in the comments. Number one, do you believe Kadyr really means it when he says he wouldn't give a red card to a player playing against Colombia with the same circumstances as Messi
Not
in the
that
World Cup
play.
final?
Not in that play. A different play, of course. Not that particular play.
And number two, give us a comment. Do you feel that that was also worthy of a red card? We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Again, we had a great time, Kadyr, like always.
I would love to hear the why. Why it should or shouldn't have been. Let us hear it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next time. All right.
See you next time.
See ya.
Peace out.